Straight from their high-rise recording studio in sunny Miami, Florida, it's the Gus and Gia Puppet Podcast Show. Here's Gus and Gia.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Gia.
And I'm Gus. Today, we're talking about something super important for all of us, especially when things get tough. It's called resilience.
That's right, Gus. Resilience is like a superpower we all have inside of us. It's what helps us bounce back when things don't go as planned.
Exactly. So let's dive in and explore what resilience is all about and how we can build it. First off, Gia, can you tell us what resilience means?
Sure thing. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. It's like being a rubber band that stretches but doesn't break. So when we face challenges, resilience helps us stay strong and keep going.
That's a great way to put it. Now, let's talk about some ways we can build our resilience. One of the most important things is having a positive mindset.
Absolutely. A positive mindset means looking at challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, try thinking, I can figure this out.
Another important part of resilience is setting goals. When we set small, achievable goals, we can celebrate our progress along the way. This keeps us motivated and focused.
Yes, and speaking of goals, it's also important to stay flexible. Sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's okay. But being able to adapt and change our plans when needed is a big part of being resilient.
That's so true. And you know what else helps? Having a support system. Friends, family, and teachers can be great sources of encouragement and advice when we're facing tough times.
Definitely. Talking to someone we trust can make a big difference. It reminds us that we're not alone and that others care about us.
Another great tip is to practice self-care. This means taking care of our body and mind, getting enough sleep, eating healthy, and doing things we enjoy can help us feel better and more resilient.
And don't forget about mindfulness. Taking a few minutes each day to relax and focus our breathing can help us stay calm and centered, especially when things get stressful.
Mindfulness is awesome. Now, let's talk about some real-life examples of resilience. Gia, do you have a story to share?
I do. There was a time when I didn't do well on a math test. I was really upset, but instead of giving up, I decided to ask for help. I talked to my teacher and got some extra practice. The next test, I did much better. That experience taught me not to give up and to keep trying.
That's a great example, Gia. I have one too. Last year, our soccer team lost almost every game. It was really discouraging. But we kept practicing and supporting each other. By the end of the season, we started winning some games. It felt amazing to see our hard work pay off.
Those are perfect examples of resilience, Gus. It shows that even when things are tough, we can keep going and eventually succeed.
Exactly. And for all of our listeners out there, remember that resilience is something we can all develop. It takes practice, but with the right mindset, goals, support, self-care, and a bit of mindfulness, we can become more resilient every day.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit more about each of these aspects in detail. Starting with having a positive mindset, Gus, can you share some tips on how to maintain a positive outlook?
Sure, Gia. One way to practice gratitude. Each day, try to think of 3 things you're thankful for. It helps shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right.
That's a great idea, Gus. Another tip is to reframe negative thoughts. So if something bad happens, try to see it from a different angle. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I make the best of this situation?
I like that. And don't forget to surround yourself with positive people. Friends who lift you up and encourage you can make a big difference in how you handle challenges.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk more about setting goals. It's important to set SMART goals. Do you know what that means, Gus?
Yes! SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Setting SMART goals helps you stay focused and motivated because you know exactly what you're aiming for and how to get there.
Exactly. For example, instead of saying, I want to get better at math, a SMART goal would be, I want to improve my math grade by practicing for 30 minutes every day for the next month.
That's a great example. And remember, it's okay to adjust your goals if needed. If you find the goal is too difficult or not challenging enough, you can always tweak it to better fit your needs.
That's right. Flexibility is key. Sometimes we face unexpected changes or obstacles, and being able to adapt helps us stay resilient.
Speaking of flexibility, it's also important to stay open to new ideas and approaches. Sometimes the solution to a problem is different from what we expected, and that's okay.
Definitely. Now, let's dive a bit deeper into the importance of having a support system. Gus, who do you turn to when you need support?
I usually talk to my parents and my best friend, and of course you as my older sister, Gia.
Aww.
They always listen and give me good advice, especially you. It's comforting to know that I have people who can care about me and want to help.
That's wonderful, Gus, and I appreciate that. It's so important to have people you can trust. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. We all need support sometimes, and asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Absolutely. And sometimes helping others can also make us feel more resilient. When we support our friends, it builds a sense of community and mutual encouragement.
That's a great point. Now, let's talk a little bit more about self-care. What are your favorite self-care activities, Gus?
I love playing soccer, reading books. No, actually, you do the reading.
Yes, I do.
And listening to my music. These activities help me relax and recharge.
Those
And-
are awesome.
and my video games. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, my
can't
video
forget
games.
those. Those are awesome activities. For me, I enjoy drawing and spending time in nature. Taking a walk outside always makes me feel better.
Nature is so calming. And speaking of calming activities, let's revisit mindfulness. Gia, can you guide us through a simple mindfulness exercise?
Sure, Gus. Let's try a quick breathing exercise. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a few seconds. And then slowly exhale through your mouth. Let's do this 3 times together.
That was great, Gia. I feel more relaxed already.
Me too, Gus. Mindfulness exercises like this can help us stay calm and focused, especially during stressful times.
Absolutely. It's a great tool to have. Now, before we wrap up, let's share some final thoughts on resilience. Gia, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Okay, I want everyone to remember that resilience is a journey, not a destination. It's something we can work on every day, and it's okay to have setbacks. What matters is that we keep going and keep growing.
That's a wonderful message, Gia. For me, I want everyone to remember that you're stronger than you think. Challenges are tough, but with resilience, you can overcome them and come out even stronger.
That's right, Gus. So next time you face a challenge, remember, you have the power to bounce back and keep going. Resilience rocks.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Keep practicing resilience, and we'll catch you next time on our podcast.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This has been a Gus and Gia Puppet Podcast Show.